Welcome everyone to another episode of World Record Runs, How It's Done. This is a series where we take a look at world records from Call of Duty Zombies to see how some of the greatest players in the world are achieving new records and new heights, and along the way, maybe learning some new tips and tricks that we can all employ to become better zombie players. The day, ladies and gentlemen, has finally arrived. We've reached Die Rise. As we all know, it's the single greatest map of all time, but before we jump into Die Rise, I have an amazing announcement I need to make in regards to our plan to build a remastered Die Rise billboard outside of Treyarch. We did it. I didn't think we'd do it, but we somehow did it. We managed to raise $5,000 on the GoFundMe. When I started that GoFundMe, it was honestly a total joke. I didn't expect anyone to donate. I figured I would just return the money to people who donated and we wouldn't even reach the goal. We wouldn't even come close, but we did it. I want to give a shout out to everyone who donated. Thank you to Lex. Thank you to Tyler, whose $750 donation, are you kidding me? Put us over the edge to 5,000. Thank you to Defarai, sorry if I said your name wrong, for the God tier I'm on Die Rise video. Thank you to everybody who made memes or participated in the Discord. Thank you to the suckers who inadvertently promoted the campaign through reaction videos. Thank you to all those who picked up merch, and just thank you to anybody who has supported the cause in any way along this weird journey where we've somehow raised over $5,000 to build a remastered Die Rise billboard. I honestly didn't think it was going to be possible. As it stands right now, we've raised, between donations and merch sales, about $6,800 towards this billboard. The money will be going towards, one, purchasing the billboard, as well as other things such as lawn signs and stickers to help promote the cause. And my plan is to be as transparent as possible with all of this money. None of it will be going to me, and any leftover money will be donated to charity. When it comes to the billboard, I must say these things take time. Billboards just don't pop up overnight, so be patient. It's going to take a little bit of time to put up this billboard, but there will be updates coming soon, and you can follow along in the Discord. And if you are in the Discord and you're a donator, you can submit proof of donation and be a part of the billboard planning, which will soon become very active as we start designing and getting this billboard online. But lads, we did it. I don't know how, but updates are coming very soon. One last thing before we jump into Die Rise World Records, I want to mention that this video has been sponsored by the Ridge Wallet. The Ridge Wallet is a light, sleek, industrial wallet. I was in need of a new wallet. I had picked up this crappy old leather wallet from Amazon. Pretty quickly, it was falling apart. Within 2 months, the fake leather was peeling away, and it was just total trash. I then discovered the Ridge Wallet, and this wallet is made from a solid metal construction. I got mine in aluminum white, but they have over 30 different styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. Unlike my shitty, cheap wallet that I got on Amazon, this piece of crap right here, this wallet has a lifetime warranty and is virtually indestructible. It's never going to break. This is the kind of wallet that you can buy once and carry for the rest of your life. Last time I talked about this wallet, people were saying, oh, John, it's a little pricey, but let me tell you, you're paying for quality when you get the Ridge Wallet. This is a wallet you'll buy once and never have to think about getting again. It's also much smaller and sleeker and fits into my pocket better than a traditional wallet. And this wallet is also bulky. I feel like it's been designed in the 90s. Meanwhile, the Ridge Wallet is modern, holds 30 cards, and has a money clip. Get 10% off today by checking out ridge.com/JJ25. That's ridge.com/JJ25. Use the coupon code JJ25 for 10% off your order, and this includes free worldwide shipping and returns. A link is in the description, and thank you to Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into Die Rise. These are the top 5 highest rounds ever achieved on Die Rise, solo, that is. Sitting at the top is Tidy Barbiecue, who you may remember also holds the record on Transit. Tidy was able to reach round 131 on Die Rise, which is the world record. Here's the thing. Tidy reached 131 on Die Rise twice. He set the record back in 2018 and then recently went for the record again, only to tragically get a script error on round 131, his record. So He tied his record. The first game ended after 18 hours when he disconnected overnight. Now this game was wild fast. So that was a hell of a fast game. But then he goes and not only sets his own record, but does it faster. He got to 131 in his second try in 16 hours. So that's insane. It's such a shame that Tidy got a script error and couldn't beat his own record, but it's still impressive nonetheless that he was able to pull off 131 twice. Now what's interesting about this run is that he employs multiple strategies over the course of his game. The first 100 rounds of the game are spent inside the small room of the elevator shaft. It's here that Tidy stayed all the way till around 100. When you're camping in this small room, you'll start a killing chain with the Sliquifier. Once the chain is rolling, what Tidy does is shoot it every 5 to 10 seconds to make sure that the area around him remains slippery. This works and helps Tidy out on multiple levels. The Sliquifier is obviously killing the zombies, but the goo prevents the zombies from reaching him and also causes them to slip and slide down to the bottom of the sloped room. If you can keep this chain rolling, the zombies reach the chain in time and you keep shooting down goo, this chain should in theory last the entire round. Now one thing players will try to do is maintain a perfect drop cycle. A perfect drop cycle is when you can get 4 drops per round, and those 4 drops are only quick revives, max ammos, double points, and nukes. And by maintaining a perfect drop cycle, you should receive 1 max ammo every round. This is something that's really important, so important that players will reset their game if their perfect cycle gets messed up, since resetting the perfect cycle and correcting it can actually take a while. Sometimes it's just easier to reset your game. Now, this was a strategy that Tidy employed for the first 100 rounds, after which you'll see he slides down the elevator shaft and purchases the couch for the first time all game. I mean, are you kidding me? You go 100 rounds and only then do you purchase the couch? Yes, he does. And this is when he starts to switch up his strategy. See, the thing is, after round 100, the Sliquifier gets ever more unreliable, and the number of shots needed to kill a zombie increases as the rounds increase. The Sliquifier will either create crawlers or it will create killing chains. And the thing is, obviously we don't want to create chains of crawlers, we want to create chains that kill the zombies. And to create a killing chain, you need to have the zombies damaged such that the crawler chains then kill the zombie chains. So essentially you need to have multiple chains running at once so that the damage done to the zombies will eventually be enough that one of the ongoing chains kills the zombies. I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but to put it simply, basically, you need to get multiple chains running at once to eventually kill the zombies, and as the rounds go up, the Sliquifier just might not be enough to beat an entire round. The solution Tidy employs is to just change the strat. Tidy leaves the small room and instead camps on the ledge of the elevator shaft. From here, he will use the Sliquifier to create a killing chain. But once he runs out of Sliquifier ammo and it's empty, he leaves the elevator shaft. Tidy will run to the trample steam room and use the trample stream strategy. This strategy works by hoarding up all the zombies in this room and then killing them with the trample steam. So he places it in the small gap between the rooms, and then right before the trample steam engages and is ready to fling, he runs past it. The zombies then run through and get killed by the trample steam, and it should take out a majority of the horde, at least the sprinting zombies. And he will do this continuously and continue to use more trample steams for the rest of the round. Then, once he's down to the last couple zombies, what he'll do is go and trade out his Sliquifier so that he has a full Sliquifier for the next round. So he's essentially using 2 strategies in one round, and he continues doing this for the entire game. The thing is, the box spawns on Die Rise, as we've talked about in previous videos, are absolute trash. Die Rise is a great map, and Die Rise does a lot of things perfectly, but box spawns is not one of them. There are strategies for mid-round trades, but they get kind of complicated. Fleur actually made a really good video on it that I recommend you check out if you're interested in how people go about trading the Sliquifier out at insanely high rounds. And the way he does it is probably the best way to do it, but it's quite complicated. So Tidy just forgoes this process by instead switching to the trample steam strategy when he runs out of Sliquifier ammo, and then does his trades after the round. This strategy, however, has its drawbacks. Some players would prefer to run a trade strat and avoid using the trample steam, because the trample steam can actually cause errors, and the reason is not entirely understood. It may be due to a buildable error where eventually you exceed a certain number of times a buildable can be placed or used or get kills, something like that. And then you can also have zombies get killed by the elevators, and then this will also slowly build up another script error as well. Eventually though, the more you run this strategy, the more likely you are to run into errors. So sometimes players will try to avoid using the trample steam for as long as possible. Regardless, Tidy chose to use the trample steam strategy rather than do mid-round trades. Now eventually this liquefier just gets completely sidelined by the trample steam, and this is because generally it's believed that the liquefier becomes non-viable at around round 116. Give or take a round or two prior if you so choose, and the number of shots you need to kill a zombie just keeps getting too high to the point where eventually it just doesn't make sense to use this liquefier, so people fall back solely on the trample steam. During Tidy's game, he started using the trample steam strategy exclusively from round 115 to round 131. Unfortunately for Tidy, his game first ended after 18 hours because he disconnected overnight, which is a tough way to go. Then his second game ended after 17 hours because of a script error. It's tough to say how much farther Die Rise can be pushed. It definitely feels like there's room to extend this record. The big question now is stability. Freezes and disconnects are not that uncommon, and you can avoid these by playing Black Ops 2 Redacted, but it's still quite difficult a strategy to pull off, and it's easy to die from. You can also run into script errors. This is because the issue is the longer you play this game, the longer you employ strategies like the trample steam, the more likely you are to build up errors over time, and this could present a potential ceiling on Die Rise if we can't find a way around this or a way to prevent it. For now, Die Rise seems like it has room to be pushed further. If you're interested in this, I recommend you read up on a write-up that Fleur did, which is really good and explains a lot of the various strategies and pitfalls that go into a Die Rise run. It's quite detailed and was a major help for me when researching this video. I absolutely recommend you guys take a few minutes to read into what goes into a Die Rise run. Fleur did an excellent job in the write-up. Now with that said, that was pretty much how Tidy was able to reach round 131 on Die Rise twice. Let's now take a look at Die Rise on co-op. These are the top 5 highest records on Die Rise co-op at the time of recording. Sitting at the top is Daniel and Okla with the co-op world record of round 116. They pulled this feat off in just under 16 hours when they went down, and things unfortunately got out of hand in the Buddha room. Daniel failed to revive himself with Who's Who, and Okla went down as well. The strategy they're pulling off is in the elevator. They're camping on the ledge with the liquefier and the trample steam. It gets interesting though when they run out of ammo with the liquefier. They need to escape the elevator shaft, and it's one thing to do it with one person, but it becomes a whole different challenge when you're doing it with 2 people. If you watch their montage of the game that's linked in the description, you'll see it gets quite hectic when they're trying to leave the elevator shaft. One thing about co-op though that it has over solo in terms of being slightly easier is that trading the liquefier is a lot simpler because you can just have one person holding the zombies while you go and trade out the liquefier. So it does make mid-round trades a much easier and much more viable option. That though is the co-op world record on Die Rise. Congrats to Daniel and Okla for pulling it off. That, ladies and gentlemen, has been this episode of World Record Runs, How It's Done, the glorious Die Rise edition. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, maybe subscribe for more. I want to again thank Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this video, and I want to also give an amazing thank you to everybody who helped out in this Die Rise campaign. I promise I have more updates coming soon. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day, and bye.